Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Malaika K, Falla of Malaika International, seeking to make all lives actualize and inspire through kind actions. I am passionate about inspiring change through interconnectedness and taking compassionate actions towards our fellow human beings. Today, I like to continue the conversation and talked a little more about our human currency. Talked about how important it is that we utilize more of our human currency or balance using our human currency with our actual monetary currency. So I'll do my best to explain a little more about the human currency. What that human currency about? In one of my videos, I talk about our human currency, talked about how we packed our human currency into our human baggage. I also refer to that we are all passengers in this world, and each person will refer to our humanness as what we are in this world. But I do believe that we are all people, so I refer to us as passengers. We're traveling to boundless destinations. We're seeking to have ourselves. We're seeking to be understood. We're trying to understand others. Others are trying to understand us. So as we move around in this world, we definitely spend a lot of our monetary currency. So we have that the tangible and intangible. That intangible aspect of us is what I'm referring to as our human currency. It is so important that we utilize our human currency in balance with our tangible currency, that monetary currency. So, what am I trying to say? Our human currency exists as a fundamental balance to our humanness and how well it is utilized through our distribution to what? Humanity. They are both deposits, and I want to bring this down so that it's understood by everyone and makes it much easier than just talk about it from a spiritual standpoint. So there are both deposits into and withdraw against our human currency. This is the same. I want to refer to this as the same as a bank account so that I make it much easier for a fair understanding across the board, or a better understanding would be a great word to say, a better understanding across the borderline there. So let's just think about it as the same as a bank account, okay? With all of the concepts and nuances contains therein, the bank of life, I want you to think about this. The bank of life is the place as which we track our human currency balance. So what do we mean by that, or what do I mean by that? Each of us has a currency. Each of us has a human currency. Let's put it that way. Each of us has a human currency account balance, which is different from everyone else. It's the same thing with your bank. You have a bank account. Your bank account is different from another person. We can all agree on that. You and no one have the same bank account. Maybe you might have the same amount of money, but you have a different bank account from someone. It's the same thing that each of us as human beings have a human currency. And though that human currency that I'm referring to is more than one, each of us has a human currency account balance which different from everyone else. The difference is as a result of an initial deposit which can be made, or which probably is based upon what the nature of each of our individual humanitarians cause, humanitarians reasons, the things we do that put on into that human currency balance. So here's the thing: the more kind and compassionate we are, and these two are just used for an example, okay? The more kind and compassionate we are, the greater the initial deposit will be for you and myself. But the less kind and compassionate we are, I want you to think about it, the less the funds that are deposited. And think about the funds, because at the end of the day, kindness, compassion, love, respect, care, all of these expressions of gratitude ends up in so many ways, directly and indirectly. It becomes a form of relating to someone monetarily. At some point at the end of the day, you probably save someone's life. You probably save some money in just by extending compassion. So no matter where and how, it's at the end of the day, it is also a form of a monetary connection. So here's the thing. The less, as I said, the less kind and compassionate we are, the less the funds that are deposited. So if you didn't put anything into your human currency account, you're getting nothing. There's nothing going to be there. The good news about this, about all of the above I'm trying to at least explain about our human currency, is that kind and compassion, and I use kind and compassion, like I say, as just an example. The more kind and compassionate we are, the greater the initial deposit is going to be. And the less kind and compassionate we are, the less funds we're going to put in there. The thing about all of this, kind and compassionate, those kind and compassionate actions, those things that we're doing, these things add up. They add to a balance. If one initially deposit was low, if you had a low balance and you put money in there, you definitely will increase your balance. So if you didn't have anything within your human currency bank account, if we want to put it this way for everyone to understand it, and you are not doing things, you're not being kind, you're not empathizing with people, you're not extending compassion, you're going to have an initial low account balance of your humanness. But if you can engage in a kind and compassionate actions, okay, one can easily, you will be able to easily do what? You will be able to easily up your human currency account balance. So as easy as it can be, I refer to it and try to blend it so that it comes to a better understanding than that phase of making it more complex, and compare, did a comparison with a natural bank account. So let's look at it conversely, that if one initial deposit was large, but then you choose it, if you went in there and say, okay, you say, I'm going to rest a little bit because I think I have enough. So, but if you choose to not be kind, think about it. You choose to not be kind and compassion, being kind or extending compassion to your fellow human beings, your funds will become less, because the more good things that you do, the best it becomes for you, and your human currency balance and bank account balance increases. Okay, so if you looked at it, the value of the human currency, I just wanted to take it away from just talking about it through kind and compassion, and probably put it into another discipline that you might be able to understand that through. So why don't I play with something about at work, okay? So the value of the human currency, let's look at the value of the human currency in a role of leadership. Someone who is a leader, someone basically who resides in the fundamental equation of how well they are leading people, how they are utilizing and distributing his or her human capital. And human capital is well known by everyone. Basically, if you work in an organization, human capital is the most important thing that you need to have, because dwelling on your human capital or knowing the importance of your human capital, you sustain a very, very vibrant organization. So if you think about this, like I said, a leader who's utilizing and distributing his or her human capital, that is engaging in kind and compassionate actions to those he or she leads on a sustained basis. Do you see what's going on? Because that, like I talk about the sustainability, the human capital, but that human currency also exists in there. Those are the kind things you say to people. Thank you very much. I truly appreciate your work. I truly appreciate that you work for us. Thank you very much. I truly, really like that you did X, Y, Z. I want you to know you were given this credit for doing so. So these, like I said, the expression of gratitude builds on your human capital. And that then is part of that expression of gratitude in all of its way, things that are not monetary. That's part of your human currency. It's scarce because not many times we're willing to come across, if you want to call it, sometimes compliments, sometimes help people. We don't do that all the time. We need to have a lot of these things done in order to balance our tangible currency and then balance our intangible. And that tangible is the actual currency, money. And that intangible currency is that thing, those different things that we do to our fellow human beings. So every time when you say something kind to someone you lead or you're interacting with or you're helping, you are making a deposit into your human currency account. You're not packing it into your baggage. You took it out. You didn't withdraw from the bank and pack it in your human baggage. No, you are using it, because every time you tell someone that is working within your under your leadership, what a great job he or she is doing, you have added dollars to your human currency account. You have added dollar to your human capital. You have added value to your organization. So on the other end of the spectrum here, every time you ignore and you do not acknowledge someone, I want you to think about this. You have just made what? You've made a withdrawal. These things tend to be balanced. They tend to balance themselves out over the course of time. But what I want you to do think about this, I want you to keep in mind that a calculation is being made upon every human transactions in which you and myself will engage. So now let's think about it as a little brief explanation. Now let's do a practical application. What am I saying? Our human currency is scarce. Our monetary currency isn't scarce because we used it. We must be able to also use more of our human currency so that it is not scarce in our society. In our human currency, it is the intangible. It is not full, hard, cold monetary. The human currencies are the things, the courtesy we extend to our fellow human beings. Kindness, compassion, love, respect, no judgment, no assumption. Allow fear to be freedom, exist, appearing real. Help people through situations, empathize with people. See your fellow human being as you see yourself. an expression, an impression of greatness, gratefulness. Be thankful for your life, for the life of others. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to say to you that the utilization of our human currency simply allows you and I, as human beings, as we are interconnected human beings, to truly be bound and have a phase of harmony. And the more we utilize our human currency, the more our world becomes a better place. We're allowing peace. We're allowing love. We are allowing respect, and we become dignified within each of us, believing in our own humanness, to believe that of humanity. We're serving for the greater good of humanity. We're giving back. That's all we can do. In that regards, I want to leave with you. I want you to go out there and spend your human currency, because the more you spend it, the more it's going to reproduce. The secret about the human currency, it is reproduced the more you spend it. So go and spend your human currency. I want to thank you and wish you a beautiful day. Thank you so much, and goodbye. Thank you.